Hi everyone, Teddy Baldassarre with TeddyBaldassarre.com. In this video, we're looking at a Flieger style watch from a brand that's one of the best at doing it with the Laco Heidelberg. So in this video and on this channel, we cover watches available for purchase on our website, TeddyBaldassarre.com, as a full authorized dealer. So in this video, quick deep dive into this watch, final points of consideration at the end. Then also throughout this video, if you have any further questions, check out the link in the description to the product page where you can learn more, purchase the watch, as well as book a time with one of our dedicated watch specialists as well. But guys, let's jump into the video, take a closer look at this watch. Now, when examining the landscape of watch manufacturers that produce some of the best entry-level Flieger style designs, while also having history in the category, you have to look at a brand like Laco. Now, Laco is best known for being one of the original Big Five watch brands that were developing watches during World War II for true, authentic Flieger-style watches during the period. I've looked at the brand quite a bit in the past and really have positioned their entry-level models with Japanese caliber with things like the Aachen as well as the Augsburg as being those two great entry doors into the world of Flieger-style watches from a brand that has heritage in the field. But as we step up into their collection and look at watches that have Swiss calibers, are also leaning into their general history in the art of making Flieger style watches, one of the next natural jumps up is to their Heidelberg, this one coming in at 39 millimeters. So as we take a look at the Heidelberg 39 on the wrist, let's run down the case measurements. The diameter at 39 millimeters, as the name would suggest, and a case height of 12.2 millimeters, with some of that coming from the dome sapphire crystal, and a restrained lug-to-lug dimension of 45.8 millimeters. Looking at the case, it does have some good proportions, modest dimensions, and it's going to wear pretty true to that 39 millimeter size, if not a little bit smaller given that lug-to-lug dimension. This is also going to fit under long sleeve dress shirts and shouldn't be an issue with that 12 millimeters of case height. While the crown is large, the case is small enough to prevent any kind of digging or pinching from occurring when contorting the wrist. The onion style push-pull crown, which is located at the typical 3 o'clock position, operates as you would expect. It winds in the first position and extends out to one position to adjust the time. This is also going to allow hacking seconds as a feature here. Although this is an aviation style watch with a push-pull crown, the Heidelberg does overachieve in the water resistance department, with this one coming at 100 meters of water resistance. At first glance, you might think this is a titanium case, but it's not. It's a darkened stainless steel with a sandblasted finish applied to all the surfaces. The matte finish is uniform across the entire case, including the crown and the case back, making it one of the signature features of the Heidelberg. On the left side of the case, opposite of the crown, there's an engraving which reads FL23883. This is a reference to historical German Fliegers, and the number is broken down into 3 different parts. The FL stands for the flight number. The next 2 numbers, 23, designates the watch as a device that's monitored in flight, and the last part, 883, establishes that the timepiece was tested by the German Research Institute during the Second World War. Without any context, it does look like a reference or serial number, but in fact, it's a historical reference and kind of giving back kind of tribute to those authentic Fliegers. Between the short lugs, you'll find an 18 millimeter dark brown leather padded strap with contrasted stitching with traditional metal rivets, finished off with an 18 millimeter buckle that is signed with a lightly engraved Laco logo. It's not going to match the same sandblasted finish as the case and will come in brushed stainless steel, but it is signed to at least keep some cohesiveness to the brand. Moving back up to the front of the watch, we have a dome sapphire crystal with an internal anti-reflective coating that is cut to sit higher than the bezel line. A simple and easy to read matte black dial is in clear view below. Now, this is a Type A Flieger dial, meaning it has bold Arabic numerals and an easily discernible minute track and a triangle with 2 dots, one on both sides, which helps with the orientation of the watch in poor lighting. To assist with the legibility is the use of C3 Super Luminova, which is used exclusively on the dial. Everything that isn't black on the dial is luminous, and the quality of the lume is quite good. The intended design of these Fliegers was to provide the most legibility as possible and strip away anything that could otherwise distract the pilot. So on the Heidelberg, we are left with a dial without any reference text or logo, producing an accurate and no-nonsense design where the only thing that you can do is read the time. Large leaf style hands for hours and minutes are situated in the center and each contain a single section of Super Luminova. The second hand is long and thin, extending all the way out to the very edge of the dial, and is also coated in Super Luminova paint. Turning the watch over, we find a solid snap-off case back with reference information engraved in German in the center. Now, the information on the back here is going to include the type of watch, the device, movement, stock number and things of that sort that were kind of common practice in these classic Flieger watches. The fact that neither the crown nor the caseback are screwed down and this piece still delivers 100 meters of water resistance again highlights the value Laco is providing with the build quality alone. Beneath the caseback sits the automatic ETA 2824-2, one of the most widely available and used, well-regarded Swiss-made automatic movements on the market today. Now, when looking at Laco's catalog overall, this is going to be the main reason why this one's going to be upmarket with the use of a Swiss caliber on the inside. The ETA 2824 is really the standard when it comes to automatic Swiss mechanical watches. It's reliable, robust, and easily serviced down the line, which is going to offer a ton of value as you're looking to own this for years to come. Now, this one's going to operate in typical fashion, 28,800 vibrations per hour, 4 hertz. It does feature hacking and hand winding as a feature. Hacking stopped in the second hand when you pull the crown to the farthest position and has a power reserve of 38 hours. Laco is also going to be regulating these, so these are going to typically be running in the single digits a day in terms of accuracy. So now to unpack looking at this Laco Heidelberg. Now, I'm a huge fan of Laco. When you're looking at those attainable Flieger style watches with actual heritage on their side, I think Laco as well as Stowe are the two best options to go for. Now, the one thing that I have always given Laco the benefit to is the fact that they offer some really attainable classic Flieger style watches at that $400 range, like I mentioned with the Aachen and the Augsburg. If you're just trying to get a feel for the world of Flieger style watches from a brand that has heritage in this field, I would strongly recommend those as a place to look to start. But if you're wanting to get into kind of that next level of Flieger style design, as well as just finish with the movement on the inside and the utility and specifications that will come along with it, I think the Heidelberg is absolutely one of the best options in this price range. At 39 millimeters, this is kind of that definitive wearable type A style dial that you're going to find out there on the market. Now, there are going to be people that are going to say that these are incredibly boring watches in terms of the dial design, which, you know, they do have an absolute case, but you have to think about what was the intended purpose for this design. Legibility was the first thing in mind. It doesn't include anything that it does not need to include. And if you like the overall just approach and kind of being true to the history of these pieces for pilots and navigators, I think this starts to make a lot of sense. And if you're looking for kind of those cornerstones, I think Stowe and Laco are the two brands that do the best job in kind of creating this design from a more modern perspective while still having connections to the classic originals that are so iconic. All right, guys, well, thank you again so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. That really does help out the channel. Also, if you're in the market for this watch and you like what you saw here today, definitely check it out. It's available on TeddyBaldassarre.com. Full authorized dealer of all the brands that we carry, quick and fast fulfillment, dedicated customer support. We also offer price match. So if you see one of our products for cheaper at another authorized dealer, fill out the form and we'll get in touch with you. Also, all of our products come with a full factory warranty, so you're completely covered if something goes wrong. You don't have that cost on your head. And finally, 9 out of every $10 that we generate goes right back into the content we're creating here, as well as on our main channel, helping to foster up a new generation of watch enthusiasts in the process. But guys, thank you again so much for watching. Be well, and I will see you all very soon.